I wanted to scream. Her calm tone was horrifying, and her true emotions were unreadable. But the one thing about me, I hated threats. I was never the type to back down from an argument or a confrontation of any sort. So I did the only thing I could. I stomped hard on her foot and ran in the opposite direction while yelling, "I'm gonna tell Mark, you creep." By the time I reached my neighborhood, I was panting and completely exhausted. Still, I headed straight to Mark's house and rang the doorbell several times. The butler opened the door, giving me a questioning look. Without saying a word, he turned and rushed in to get Mark. Mark came out soon enough, his hair damp and ruffled. He'd clearly just gotten out of the shower. "Isn't it a bit late? Why didn't you text me instead? And why do you look like a mess?" A flurry of questions came spilling out of his mouth, most of which I barely registered. I shook my head, trying to refocus, then spoke clearly. "I went to get some snacks, and I saw Camila on my way back." At the mention of her name, Mark's eyes lit up. I frowned, then made up my mind to tell him the truth.
"She's not who she says she is."
Huh.
His face changed.
The brightness in his eyes dimmed almost instantly. He hated hearing anything negative about her. But I pressed on, fueled by a new sense of resolve, and something that felt dangerously close to fury. "She's a horrible person. She was arguing with her dad nonstop, cursing him out just because he couldn't buy her a new purse. And when she saw me listening, she threatened me not to tell you." "Why were you eavesdropping anyway?" he snapped, cutting me off. "Gosh, you're such a baby. Do you know how poor people struggle each day? You have no idea what she's going through. So, who are you to judge? I don't want you going anywhere near her again.
Leave."
It's late." And with that, he slammed the door in my face. I stood there, stunned, hurt. Had she really brainwashed him that badly? I wiped my tears and walked home. Poor people.
What did he mean by that?
Your background doesn't give you the right to treat people terribly. Especially not family. I scoffed. From now on, I don't care about his relationship with that fake anymore. He'll see, when the time comes, that he's been a fool this whole time. Later at school, Mark started to distance himself from me. And Camila? She convinced him I had made the whole thing up. Just like that, I became an outcast. Rumors spread like wildfire that I'd fallen out with Mark because I insulted Camila, made fun of her situation, bullied her at every turn. My friends started avoiding me like the plague. And worst of all, Mark did nothing to set the record straight. I felt betrayed. Alone. But I held my head high. My mom had taught me never to cower in the face of wrongdoing, never to fear oppression. Mark and Camila kept dating for another year. He showered her with lavish gifts, jewelry, clothes, most of it from his mother's personal collection. He adored her so much that everyone assumed they were childhood sweethearts destined to marry. It wasn't until their third year that things started to unravel. Thanks to the school's generosity, Camila had begun attending a prestigious dance school. That was when things took a turn. She'd met a wealthy heir, someone with royal blood, and they started spending more and more time together. When Mark confronted her, she'd burst into tears, saying she was just trying to be friendly, trying to gain more attention. She'd accuse him of not trusting her. And Mark, like always, would give in, trying to comfort her, to fix things. But 2 weeks before finals, she dropped the bombshell. She stood in front of Mark's desk, her expression cold and distant. "Let's break up. I'm done with this relationship." He didn't see it coming. Honestly, it was embarrassing that he didn't. When he asked her why, she simply said she had met someone better, and that they'd be flying abroad together after graduation. She needed someone who would support her goals and dreams. Someone who wouldn't hold her back. Desperate to win her back, Mark spent all his time chasing after her, trying to please her, begging her not to leave. But she kept refusing, calling him clingy and selfish. In the end, he flunked his finals. He had to rewrite exams with my year batch. And Camila? She left with her new boyfriend right after high school. It was pitiful. I stayed out of it, focused on myself, got back on track. I passed with flying colors, and earned a place at a prestigious art college abroad. I didn't hear from Mark for 4 years. Not until I came back home to set up my own art studio nearby. He still lived with his parents, and had taken a position as an executive in his dad's company. We reconnected a year after I returned. With my small knowledge of business, I helped him start a small venture, one that would later become the biggest subsidiary of his father's company. It did so well. His father named him successor of the entire multi-million-dollar empire. We both pretended the Camila incident had never happened. A bad idea. But gradually, we grew close again, and started dating. Our parents were thrilled. They even suggested we get married. Mark said it was too soon, that we were both still focused on our careers. But eventually, he proposed, and we were soon to be wed. Like and subscribe for more content.